Hey everybody, it's John Kadlic from Parallel Path. I'm here for the latest edition of Trail Talks with my good buddy Tiffanie Hiibner, the VP of Integrated Marketing and Brand Advancement at Nationwide Children's Hospital. We are in Columbus, Ohio for more of an urban trail talk today around one of the campus buildings of NCH. So Tiffanie, maybe to get started, you could tell everybody a little bit about your role at NCH more specifically than just the title and some of the things you focus your energies on.
Sure. Well, I lead integrated marketing and brand advancement, as John said. That means a lot of the marketing functions that fall under me are social media, are creative, integrated marketing, digital marketing, research and insights, and so on. So the brand part about my role, and the reason it's called brand advancement, is it's a fairly new role. I've been at the hospital about a year, and we haven't done anything with our brand in some time. So we are embarking on a journey to evolve our brand and really start to focus on how we match the momentum of the hospital that the hospital has had. So NCH has just done so much around innovations, around population health, genomics, gene therapy, so many great stories that we have to tell that we just haven't done as much as we'd like to. So as we evolve the brand, we're looking to think about ways that we message our mission and all of the many things that we do outside of just the hospital walls that help our communities and all of the audiences that we serve.
Well, thanks for that. So I think one of the things that would be helpful for folks to know, your focus on pediatrics, you do have a lot more audiences to serve and address than maybe a typical hospital or health system. So maybe you could enlighten the crew a little bit on some of the things you have to think about as a marketer that other people might not know.
Yeah, sure. So this is actually my first rodeo in healthcare. I've worked on many brands and many verticals, but never healthcare. And coming into this role, in the past, focus on, let's say, B2B audiences, B2C audiences, and your internal teams and the segments that fall within those. But here at the hospital and our whole entire health ecosystem, we just have so many different audiences that we're focused on. You think about patients and families and caretakers. That's, of course, our core audience and at the center of every single thing that we do. But we're a nonprofit. So we have donors and we have partners that we communicate with. We have 16,000 plus and growing in terms of our staff, and they are highly engaged, and it's important that they're highly engaged because they are the most important people to deliver care to our patients and families. So we have them. We have community leaders, we have elected officials, we have influencers, we have recruits. I mean, talent. We're one of the top 10 children's hospitals in the country, and we're fighting a war for talent every day. People come here because of the talent that we have here, so it's really important that we're out in front of people who might want to come to Columbus and work at our hospital. So it's a very complex cohort of audiences that we serve and that we support and that we speak to, and they're very distinct and very different. And we put a lot of effort and emphasis into how we communicate with all of those audiences. So that's really been something that's unique as I've come into healthcare, specifically pediatrics, that I've learned and managed around how you do that as a nonprofit without big giant budgets and try and market and communicate to all of those different audiences.
Well, maybe stay on that for a minute. So all those people have different demands, whether it's content or education or even channels for that matter, that they might be consuming. How do you think about that? And are there some typical kinds of things people want to know is your experience, and you try and serve them in the way they need it? What would be some examples of that?
I mean, there's so much. We're a content machine. Our teams are content producers beyond what I've seen before. The volume is very high, and it's fast, and it's daily, and it really just depends on who we're talking to. For parents and caretakers of kids, it's most important that we're giving them resources that they need. So if they encounter a problem with their child, that they know exactly where to turn and what to do and how to find the right doctor, the right facility, or the right care. So that's one of the things, of course, that's our main focus, making sure that we have clinical content that's relevant, that we can deliver to parents and families or caretakers if they're finding themselves in a jam, or they have something that they're encountered with their child, that they can search, and we can be the leader or the resource that delivers them that information to help them get help for their child. So you've got that. Then you've got, our staff, making sure that the 16,000 people that work here know exactly what's going on at all times. That's a daily content, focus for us. We've got our donors that we need to tell them what we're doing, or potential donors, to make sure that they know, here's the things that I can invest in that's happening at Nationwide Children's. All of the research we do. I mean, we have an amazing amount of researchers doing research to cure diseases every single day. We need to make sure that people know about that so we can have the support we need to continue that research, and so on.
That's
Sorry,
a lot.
I'm out of breath.
That's a lot. Well, I would be out of breath too if I had to cover all these audiences. It's quite the algorithm.
It is, and it's amazing, when you have a team of people that are so mission driven and so committed to our purpose and to what we're trying to do. They are just on it. I mean, we just crank and crank and crank to make sure that everyone knows what we're doing, that parents know where to turn, that our staff is, continuously engaged in our culture. So
that's a lot. No wonder you guys are so busy all the time, right?
Yeah, and to be honest, we're really always trying to learn. So we do a lot of research and discovery to try and see what are the expectations of all of those audiences, what can we deliver to them that we're not delivering today, just to make sure we're on top of it, and that what they get from us is relevant, informative, and meets their needs.
So you also have the Kids Mental Health Foundation,
Right.
which is an important part of the mission of the hospital, but is different than the day-to-day caretaking of children in need. So how does that sort of fit into the puzzle overall?
Well, so about 6 years ago, the hospital made a commitment to try and put together something that would help our communities with the crisis that we were facing around kids' mental health. And that started with the first of its kind behavioral health pavilion, which we have here on campus, which treats kids' mental health. And that was an amazing first of its kind, as I mentioned, building and center that was amazing to have. But in addition, you have kids all over the state, the country, and the world that are facing mental health crisis. And we really wanted a way to help all of those kids, because we can only help the kids that are close to us with the Behavioral Health Pavilion.
Right.
So the Kids Mental Health Foundation was launched to provide upstream resources to parents, to families, to caregivers, to teachers, to coaches, to help them have conversations around mental health with their kids. And the idea is the sooner you can do that, the better you are in preventing a crisis down the road. So all of our resources are evidence-based from the many clinicians that we have here at the hospital, and it's just been tremendous to see the impact that we've been able to have in millions of families and classrooms across the country. The whole idea of this is to really make mental health as important as physical health as kids are growing up. So when your kid has a fever or they break a bone, you know exactly what to do, right? Take them to the doctor, you get the problem fixed. We know that when parents are facing...
This is what happens on an urban trail talk, so we just roll with it.
Yeah.
So you guys get some musical interludes while we're talking. Hopefully you can still hear us along the way. But
there you go. When people are facing a child who's got mental health issues, they really don't know what to do in many cases. So we want to be the resource that they turn to in order to help them with their child, provide resources, have conversation, or get the help that they may need. So that's what the Kids Mental Health Foundation is based on. We're really excited about the momentum that we've been having with our impact, and it just continues to grow and grow and grow. And we're just very, very thrilled about it because it's such a need.
Yeah, for
right
sure.
now. Yeah.
For sure. So maybe as we're sort of wrapping up here, Tiff, what's one thing you do for your own personal health and wellness?
Well, of course, I try and eat well and exercise and get outside. All of those kind of things ground me and make me feel sane. I make sure that I have some sort of trip planned. It's always something to look forward to know that I get to travel somewhere with my family.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And during those times, I just make sure that I'm disconnected from the rest of the world, so I have real quality time with family and friends.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't look forward to a vacation? That's a great, ambitious thing to always have on the
every time
horizon.
you end one, you should plan the next one.
That's right.
Even if it's just a staycation and you go to a friend's or stay in a hotel downtown, just to get away from everything.
Yeah.
Is really good.
Well, thanks for spending time with me. It's good to
Yeah,
see you
good
again.
to see you too.
Appreciate you guys all tuning in. This is the latest edition of Trail Talks with my friend Tiffany, and we'll see you out on the trail again here real soon. Take care, everybody.